What up out there, on my Lambda family and friends? I'm back. I've been trying to do this video for a while. I've had several technical difficulties. So I'm just going to sit outside here and do it and get it in because it's way behind and I got so many other videos to unload. So today we're going to talk about my experience with Lambda School Winter Hackathon, the 2020 Winter Hackathon. I ran my own team. We were called the Modern Devs. The project we did was a feature. It was a beverage chill timer. And what that does is when you buy a beverage, you scan the UPC code and it's going to tell you how long you can leave the beverage in the freezer where it becomes chilled, light slushy or a fake slushy. Because many of us, we leave the beverages in the freezer and we forget about it, right? And then it explodes, boom, all over your freezer, like a nuclear bomb, you know? So it's actually something I came up with because I'm prone to do that a lot. So it went really well. I was really impressed with the team I recruited. I recruited a team. Only one person flaked out, which I was really surprised by. But I guess they have an issue with working with me. But that's okay. Like I said, I can't, that's like yelling at a brick wall at this point, with dealing with those things with people. We just live in a passive, aggressive era. And this has become a trait. It's funny, not to get off topic, but a lot of the behaviors people do today in this era, well, not this era, the last 10 years since 2010, since this whole internet thing, when I was coming up, those were considered like deviant pathologies of your nature, right? So they were calling you like a serial killer, antisocial behavior was frowned on. It used to be a time when you just told someone, whatever was on your mind and that was that. And that's how I was raised to be like, I know people, they have issues with working with a black man. And that's fine. I could deal with that. But, be about that. I'd rather you be about that than to be fake. When you're fake, it kind of makes me feel like I should be grabbing you by your fucking ears and screaming it in your face that you're fake. Because I really have these, what's the word? Instincts. My instincts, And I don't like to waste my time. I could care less. You know what I'm saying? I could care less. People don't want to work with me because I'm a black man or whatever. They don't like, it's stupid. It's stupid. It's dated. It's old. Your fathers, your mothers, your grandfathers, your grandmothers, they were stupid people to talk like that, to teach you that. And it's just stupid. It's just stupid, And you can't really be about you down with anything else. LGBTQ and all this other stuff you say you about, but you don't like working with black men. That's retarded as fuck. You accept 1,001 things, but that one thing, you're fake, So I don't want to get off on a tangent about that. That's probably a whole other video. And again, these are opinions expressed solely by me. But anyway, yeah, so that person flaked. Whatever, man. They're never going to hear from me again. I guess they wanted it that way. They should have just said that. They should have just said that way, way back weeks and months ago when I became acquainted with them. But whatever, it's all good. The team I had to work with, we also had a data scientist, and I pulled in a data scientist in the component because I wanted to be able to gather data and also trace it and, learn from it. And the data that we set up was so that, we could track the beverage that you drank, what type of chilled consistency you liked. We could help with marketing the beverage more, restocking, shipping, all those different things, And so it was a pretty good feature that I conceived. I conceived the feature myself. So the team I had to work with was really excellent. We all came together, different time zones, working remotely to make this happen, One thing I really want to think about that I learned a lot of that I want to mention is I learned the most important thing about being a UX designer, the handoff, right? So the handoff to the developer. I learned about doing that. That was the most important thing that I learned, because I hadn't learned that yet. And I actually had the developers help me. Like, they taught me how to do that as a UX designer. And I think it's very important to learn that from them versus your UX person, right? Because every developer is unique. And some of them are going to be like, I get it, I don't need extra stuff. Some of them are going to be like real micro detailed. And some of them are going to be like, I don't know, just out there. But when you do a UX person, it could be a little bit too rudimentary, right? And then it's not in touch with what a developer needs. So I learned what the developers I worked with, what they needed from me. So I didn't have to do a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff is self-explanatory. They already knew, like, A goes right to E. I didn't have to do B, C, and D. It was like self-explanatory. So that's one thing I experienced, which is really good, because we hadn't been taught that yet in any of the modules. Well, actually, no, they probably are teaching it, but I got flexed before I learned it. So, but anyway, that's in another video that I'll share with you guys. The other thing that I learned was that collaborative learning is the best. And I wanted to recommend that to Lambda School, is that the cohort structure is all wrong. We shouldn't be grouped together by our core specialty. We should be grouped together in collaborative teams. So we should have like 2 UX designers and a data scientist and 3 developers or 4 developers, for example. That should be a cohort, right? And then we break off for our lectures, but then we come back together and we collaborate together. I think that would be a better way for us to grow and talk about working on teams. I think if we talk about working on teams more, it'd be easier for especially the UX people to get employment. I think it'd be way easier. Because let's just face it, if this was all about just making a pretty port, there'd be no openings. I mean, look at Dribble, look at Behance. And a lot of these people are still talking about their freelance and shit like that. So if it was really all about just a pretty port, there'd be no work. So I think we need to think about that. I personally liked it better. I learned a lot. Retention. So when I was in college, they taught us about how your brain. They taught us about how your brain learns. When I was in college, and what they taught us before they did anything else is that repetition equals retention, but so does the experience, right? So the more you do it, right, that's repetition, the more you retain it, and then the experience is how you logically compute everything, put it all together. So that's what they taught us. And I think that needs to be, and I think that can be applied well in restructuring how the cohorts are. Because I'm not learning anything with like 20 UX people around me all day. I'm not learning how to do the job. I'm learning the skills, but I'm not learning how to perform the job with the team. And last time I checked, I probably will be working on a team, because I don't think you can do a whole app by yourself. I really don't see you doing a whole app by yourself. I don't think that's possible. It might be if there's a good deadline, a good set of milestones, but if you're going to be like on like a couple of hours or maybe 2 weeks, not the way that I like to work. So, but anyway, yeah, so what else? They fed us. We had DoorDash gift cards. That was pretty cool. So we were able to eat while we worked. Also, if you do the cohort, if you do the hackathon, I would recommend that you don't try to worry about finishing. Don't worry about finishing. Just have a good time. Enjoy yourself. Learn from the experience. If you finish, that's a plus. What happened with my plan didn't live up to the potential, because I wound up having to do the presentation literally like 2 minutes before it was due. And I didn't want to end like that. I actually knew going in I wanted to be done like after 20 hours, just sit whatever we had. I'm going to spend the next 10, doing some editing and working on the presentation. Didn't work like that. We got to 25th hour, we were still working. I had to shut it down. 5 hours, we realized that it wasn't working the way it was supposed to. We had to fix those things. I had to delegate immensely different things. And then I worked on the presentation, doing those 5 hours. And, you can see that video too. I'll put a link to the hackathon, for the whole hackathon. We didn't win, but I guess it's not really what it's about. But we didn't win, which I found pretty astounding because we had a great feature. We had a feature that everybody watching could actually apply. That everybody watching actually can go in their kitchen and use right then, I don't think any of the products that they shown or any of the few features that were shown, there were maybe like 2 or 3, maybe 4 of the 20 that were applicable like that. And I think maybe only one of them won. And it was kind of dated to me. It was like a picture thing. And I was kind of dated because it's like, we're not even taking pictures no more. Everything goes on Instagram. Everything's video. And when you do an Instagram, it's a caption. You put a caption up. Or a video on Twitter, you put a caption up, right? So you know what's going on in that moment. I don't know. I don't, have a bunch of little kids. I'm not recording little kids' birthday parties and those moments. Those moments are not things in my life. I have, it's again, it's a different life stream for me than it is, I guess, for what a normal, traditional life stream is. But yeah, so it was very, very tight deadline. I stayed up like 16 hours, took a nap. Very, very tight deadline. I had to keep my Zoom chat on the whole time. So I had an ongoing Zoom chat. Like I bought the 24-hour package just for that. So I had to put some money up. But yeah, I'm really excited about what we got done. I'm looking forward to continuing to work on it. I think it could be something. It's a great feature. It's not a product, it's a feature. But it can be something that, people can really benefit them. It'll save a lot of beverages from being wasted. Only you can prevent beverage waste. So I'm thinking about maybe trying to organize regular hackathons, a hackathon league for my kind, when like every 3 months we have it, and then the winner from those 4 engagements, the winners all get together and go toe to toe and duke it out. That would be pretty cool, I think. So maybe I'll organize something like that. Yeah, I should do that. Get an Indiegogo going, or a Kickstarter, right? Raise some funds for it. So yeah, otherwise, that's it. That's all I got for today. Just wanted to hop in here real quick, get this video out the way. I'm about to go back into working on my part of my instruction that I had difficulty with, the 4.8 point grids. About to go back to working on that. Take a second crack at this. I've just been mulling over a lot of things, thinking a lot lately about this path that I'm on. Yeah, thinking about it a lot lately. So there's a lot of things going on. So we're going to see how it goes. I'm going to take a second stab at this. And, that's it. I am the Face of Tech. I'll talk to you guys soon. Later. Peace.